Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Relationships. What would you do if you knew that your spouse was cheating on you with one of your best friend's siblings? Well, that's exactly what happened to our first OP. This one's from user, "Aw well, this sucks, 123. My 28 male wife, 29 female, slept with my best friend's brother a couple months ago, and I just found out. So, I've been with my wife for just over a decade. We met in high school, started dating, and got married after college. We are each other's first and only romantic relationship. Generally speaking, we've had a pretty solid relationship. We rarely fight, we still love spending time together, and we are 100% best friends. Marriage had, until recently, been easy and wonderful. One evening, she sat me down to talk about our intimate life. We have never been super active in the bedroom. It's never really been a problem though. She has always told me that she's just not that much of a sexual person, and I've always respected that. When we do sleep together, it's great. No issues there. But she told me that night that she's all but lost any passion or desire for me sexually. She was very kind about it, but she didn't try to sugarcoat it. She said that she just really doesn't ever want it anymore. I told her that I understood. I was hurt, no doubt, but felt like maybe this was a natural thing in a relationship that's been going on since high school. Especially considering that neither of us have ever slept with another person. I still believe that, to an extent. Long story short, we talked for a couple of hours and came to the conclusion that this was not great news for our marriage. No big decisions were made that night, but we agreed to give ourselves time to think and reflect and have another conversation in a few weeks. When that time came, she told me that there were things I needed to improve that, if I did, would help her get some desire back. It boiled down to the idea that I wasn't making her enough of a priority and I hadn't made her feel sexy or special or attractive in a long time. And she was right, I can admit that. So it became my goal to work on that. And it went really well. After a few weeks of consciously working on it, our bed life lit back up. Better than ever before, actually. It was fantastic. Hooray for honesty and self-improvement. And then I saw a bunch of text messages that I wasn't supposed to see. It was my wife's birthday, and we had gotten drunk with some friends. She went to bed at some point and I stayed up a little bit longer. When I went to bed, I realized my phone was dead and my charger was in another room. Being way too intoxicated and lazy to go get it, I just figured I'd use her phone to set my morning alarm. I grabbed it and saw that she had gotten a text from my best friend's brother, who lives a few hours away, and didn't know exactly how to feel. The last time we saw him was like 8 months ago at my friend's wedding. After which I recall my wife saying that she always thought he was attractive, which wasn't a big deal at the time. We're always honest about that kind of stuff. I had no idea they ever texted each other though. I thought maybe it was a happy birthday text, but I wasn't totally sure. I spent a minute or two deciding if I should open it. I have never been a snooper and I don't like the idea of reading her texts, but this felt weird. Maybe it was all the alcohol, but I just felt like something wasn't right, so I opened it. It was not a happy birthday text. To keep this story from getting even longer, I'll just say that I found an exchange of texts and pictures that went back about 2 months. The texts and pictures were of the adult variety and quite explicit. I was able to surmise that they had met up and hooked up in December when she was in his town visiting an old friend. It didn't appear that they had effed since then, but they were sexting on a daily basis. I spent about 5 minutes deciding if I was dreaming, but came to the inevitable conclusion that I was indeed awake. Enter a new kind of pain and nausea that I've never experienced before. With my decision-making skills compromised by bourbon, I decided to wake her up and confront her. She started off by denying everything, but she was still very drunk and half asleep and not making a lot of sense. Eventually, when she woke up a bit more, she admitted to it all, confirmed what I had figured out from the texts. Then she spent some time blaming me, saying that I had driven her away with my previously discussed lack of marital prioritization. I was a raging D throughout the conversation, telling her she was a crappy person and a floozy. I'm deeply ashamed at my behavior that night, but holy cow, if you've never accidentally stumbled upon your high school sweetheart turned wife's blatant infidelity, it effing sucks. The next day, when we were both sober, we talked again. It was still a pretty awful conversation, but a bit more civilized. She took back the blame, apologized profusely, and told me to do whatever I needed to do. The thing is, I have no idea what I want to do. So, like so many before me, I've come here to seek your advice. She had to leave on a work trip for a few days, which is actually pretty good timing considering I don't want to be around her right now. And I'm just sitting here wallowing in self-pity and debating what to do next. I love this woman with every bit of my being, but also completely hate her right now. My question for you all, what would you do? Divorce seems like an easy answer, but I can't wrap my brain around that yet. People come back from cheating, right? Or is she actually a horrible person that I need to get far away from and work on starting life over again? I don't effing know. I'm lost. This is the worst situation I've ever dealt with, which, silver lining, makes me grateful for how easy my life has been. And I can't figure anything out. Thank you for reading this. I'm sorry if it was long and or confusing at any point. I needed to get things out of my brain to begin processing next steps. Much love to all of you. Edit to add. Here's the thing that's stopping me from truly believing we can fix this. She could have stopped. If they had slept together once and then never spoke again, I could see myself forgiving her. If she continued sexting with him after the hookup but stopped the moment we had the conversation about fixing our marriage, I could see myself forgiving her. But she didn't. Even after we started to get better, started loving each other with a refreshed perspective, she kept up the affair. That's what makes it so hard to see myself forgiving her. Well, OP, in my opinion, in this last paragraph, you answered your own question. Now, from what you tell us, you started dropping the ball in the bedroom and she felt unappreciated. But then you guys spoke about this, addressed it, and you took responsibility for what you had done and started actively changing your behavior to make her feel more appreciated. But then she cheated and continued the affair on the phone, waiting to hook up maybe in the future. An argument could be made that you would be partially responsible for her cheating if you hadn't done anything to make her feel better in bed with you. But you did. You actively took things in your hands and made your bed life better. So to answer your question, if you really don't see yourself forgiving her, then you can't stay in this relationship because that thing hanging over your head is never gonna get any better. What do you guys think about OP's situation? Well, while you think about that, let's continue with the update to see what OP finally did. This update came a year after the original post. In early 2019, I caught my wife having an affair. We had a lot of issues in our relationship that were likely never going to be fixed. And the affair was the final nail in the coffin. While it took us a few months to make the decision final, we separated in June and were divorced by October. And today, I am the happiest I've ever been. I spent the first 6 months of my new single life going out and having fun in a way that I had never experienced before. Brief flings with a handful of women, which was actually quite important for my self-confidence as it turned out. That was fun for a while, but then lockdown happened. Don't know if you've heard about it. And I had to put that life on pause. And then, a friend who I had been crushing on for a little while asked if I wanted to be her lockdown buddy, just so neither of us would have to be stuck at home alone. And, well, one thing led to another, and here I am falling in love in a way that not long ago felt like I never would again. We've been officially dating for a couple of months now, and lockdown life has definitely sped up our relationship in a way neither of us could have expected. I'm not rushing to make any concrete plans for our future, but things are seriously so damn good right now. She makes me feel so loved and attractive and special, and I just want to spend every possible moment with her. For the record, it's so obvious now that our relationship was over long before she cheated, so we could have gotten out before the worst stuff happened. But life teaches us lessons in funny ways. Anyway, my ex is also in a much happier place and enjoying her life fully. We made the best decision for the both of us, and she deserves happiness as much as I do. Note to add, I never told my friend. He's still one of my closest friends, and maybe one day I'll open up to him. But for now, I'm okay with never telling him. He was supportive during the divorce and kept me afloat, and I'll always appreciate him. For all of you who come here at the lowest point in your lives, heartbroken and profoundly miserable, please know that it's temporary. Love will always win, even if it takes a beating along the way. Well, OP, there's not much more to say onto that. You're happy and that's what counts. Congratulations. The thing I like about your story the best is that you're not bitter and that you allowed yourself to give love a chance again. Congratulations, man. I wish you both all the best. And on that positive note, let's move on to the next story. In the previous post, the culprit was the brother of one of your best friends, right? Well, what if it is your sibling that they're cheating on you with this time? I'm sure you guys know where this is going. This one's from user Altered Chaos. Congratulations are in order. Although the title looks confusing, trust me, there's a reason. For some context, I, 29 male, had been in a relationship with my ex, 28 female, for the past 7 years. It was a perfect and stable relationship, or so I thought. As I said, this was going to be our 7th year anniversary, and I was planning on proposing to her. There was a lot of excitement and joy, but boy, no one was ready for what was to come. I work as a sales manager in a reputed firm, and my ex works at an event management company. I was called into a meeting on an hour's notice as there were some important changes being implemented. The meeting was expected to take up most of our day as there was a lot to discuss and finalize, but was cut short as the CEO had a personal emergency and the meeting is rescheduled. So I went shopping and bought a beautiful ring to propose with on the anniversary, which was 2 days away, and headed home. We all leave, and as I'm entering my driveway, I noticed a car parked near my garage. I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, but bear with me. I enter the house and there's loud music playing in our room. I call out to my girlfriend, but she can't hear me. I walk towards my room and was greeted by the sight of my own brother mid-thrust doing my girlfriend. Worst part was they didn't even notice me. I took pictures for proof. I am a high-functioning sociopath, so I tend to remain or look calm and rationalize everything in any situation. I immediately turned around and walked out of the house and headed straight to the bar. Met with my friends, but told them nothing. I was seething with rage as 2 of the people whom I had trusted and loved had the capacity to betray me in such a manner. I wanted to break them then and there, but I was out for blood and wanted to cause maximum damage just to show them how low they went. For the next 2 days, I acted as if I was neck deep with work and avoided everyone, and made a presentation as an anniversary gift. Come the 7th year anniversary, we had a socially distanced party at my parents' house, which our close family, our parents, siblings, and a few close friends attended. After all the wishing and hugging was done, I stood up and said I had a presentation to show my appreciation. The presentation. It basically outlined our entire relationship. Pictures of us since we started dating and pictures marking important days of our relationship until it reached the 7-year mark, where the pictures of my ex and my brother flashed across the screen. That's when I stand up and yell, "Congratulations are in order to the 2 pieces of trash who found each other," flipped them the bird and walked out and went home. Although it felt good at the moment, The weight of the betrayal finally landed on me, and I broke down for the first time in years. I've refused to speak with anyone and have locked myself in my house as I'm not a safe person to be around right now. All that happened yesterday, and here I am, broken, confused, and angry. What do I do now? So for this story, I'm not gonna give OP my advice. Instead, I'm going to read the top comment with advice from his post. Wellman81 says, "What do you do now, you ask? It's quite simple actually. 1. Break up with your trash girlfriend and go no contact forever. Your brother can help her move out since they're now together. 2. Disown your brother. He's dead to you now. 3. Expose her affair to everyone else you know before she tries to spin the story in her favor. 4. Be prepared for her to blow up your phone with apologies and the usual "it didn't mean anything" BS. Ignore her completely. 5. After the dust settles, start exercising and engaging in some healthy activities. Start traveling and doing things you've never got to do. 6. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. That stuff will only bring you down further. 7. Seek individual therapy for yourself because you're in a world of hurt right now. 8. Do not aspire to be in another relationship for a while. You need time to heal and rebuild your self-confidence first. And 9. Above all else, take care of yourself. Well, that list is a solid piece of advice for OP. So now, let's move on to the update to see what happened. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for your support, and here's an update on the current situation. So, I've had a few days to gather myself and I've spoken to my family and friends regarding the mess. Frankly, I'm at a better place mentally, thanks to all the support I've gotten, both from my family and friends, as well as the Reddit community. To clarify certain things, my parents had given their other son a week to pack up and find a new place to stay. He skipped town and ghosted everyone. Many people asked me why they didn't disown him. To be honest, it's their choice. Now, here's where things get interesting. So, a couple of days ago, I went out to grab a drink with my friends, and I happened to run into a colleague of mine. She had helped me pick the ring. She was out of town during all this, and didn't know what had happened. Introductions were made, and before I could get a word in, she asks me how the proposal went. The one topic I was trying to avoid. A look of shock had spread across the faces of everyone at the table, and my colleague just looked surprised. Nobody knew about the ring. A lot of yelling and questioning later, and everything was made clear. Well, word of me purchasing the ring spread like fire around the circles, and somehow my ex heard about it. She was at my door yesterday, waiting for me to arrive home. She started crying, saying that she screwed up and wouldn't have done it had she known what I was planning, and demanded to see the ring. I just stood there trying not to lose my temper. She begged me to talk to her, not letting me enter the house. I refused and calmly told her to leave, but she wouldn't listen. It was funny how her behavior just switched. She then started blaming me, saying that it was all my fault that she cheated on me with my brother, and I was responsible for ruining her relationship with her father and friends. At this point, I had tolerated enough and called the cops and explained what was happening. Since I had contacted them earlier regarding the situation, they were quick to respond. By this point, she had started threatening me and tried to assault me. The cops arrive as she is about to get violent and asked her to leave. She doesn't and causes a bigger scene and assaults the officer who was trying to calm her down. She is then arrested for assaulting an officer and trespassing. The officers asked me if I wanted to file a complaint or press charges against her, to which I just said that I wanted nothing to do with her and to just take her away. I will be filing a restraining order against her. So yeah, it's been a fun week, and once again, I'd like to thank you all for your support. Well, like Ron Burgundy said, that escalated quickly. I mean, it really got out of hand there. What baffles me about some cheaters is that they resort to blame shifting as if that's gonna work. Maybe it does in some cases, but it really angers me that they just take zero responsibility. It's like they don't have accountability at all. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to turn this into another rant. So I'm gonna invite you guys to go into the comment section and say everything you think about this cheating girlfriend. And please, don't forget about the sucky brother. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and click like. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Also, here are more videos from my channel that you might enjoy. And having said all that, I will see you guys on the next video.